Hello and welcome to Winfield's Week of Rugby League, and a busy week again in the world of the greatest game of all. Last Saturday, the television cameras from the ABC were at the Wollongong Showground for the clash between Illawarra and Parramatta. And of course, Illawarra, on the two occasions they'd played Parramatta this year, once in a national Panasonic and in the first round of the Winfield Cup, have really served it up to the Westerners and made them earn every point. And that pretty much was the case as the match unfolded at the Showground. Then on Sunday, the NEC big game, it saw the clash of the Sea Eagles, Manly, front runners in the premiership, taking on Balmain, the Tigers, just 2 points out of the 5, and striving and struggling to stay within reach of the semi-finals and, of course, within reach of the all-important top 3. And then, of course, at the Sydney Cricket Ground, it was Tooheys Monday night football. The Rabbitohs, they were up there in the top 3 and battling to stay there, taking on the never-say-die Western Suburbs Magpies. But first things first, the Wollongong Showground, and it was Illawarra versus Parramatta.
Well, there are the Steelers, who are a 10-15 point better side at home than anywhere else. They're not as strong as they were earlier in the season. They've had a few injury problems, and one of the key men out today is Alan McIndoe. Owen Saunders has taken his place on the wing. That's a real blow for his representative future and for Illawarra's chances today. And their pack will have to bustle and really frustrate Parramatta if they're to stay in this game. Brian Smith has been signed for another 2 years, and Paul Upfield, one of 7 players signed for next season, showing Illawarra's confidence in a keen batch of young players that they've got to try and get towards the final 5 within the next few seasons. And Upfield's had a tremendous season, particularly in defence. And there's the old warrior himself, Ray Price, with that very powerful Parramatta side. They've had a few exceptional victories this season, and they look to be headed towards another meeting in the grand final with one of those teams in the top 3. And when you look at that lineup, you can see the power they've got in the forwards. Lee Beater's jaw apparently is okay, and this fella Peter Wynn, if he keeps up his good recent form, could well be a kangaroo tourist again. Phil Cooley, one of the newer referees in first grade this year, in charge of today's game, and it's Parramatta to kick off into the breeze. That's Mackie on the breeze. Paul Taylor, reception up fast to stop him. O'Connell in there with second row upfield. Hetherington coming in. West Wynn, Illawarra up very quickly. These will be the tactics, I reckon, from Illawarra today, Steve-O, to try and put Parramatta off their game.
Certainly are. They've got to move up quickly in defence, one line of defence, and the centres have got to force the play down the middle. They know that they've got so much class out wide in the 3 quarters, but I think they'll be a little bit too strong in the forwards. Very, very light up front to the Illawarra side today.
Again on the blind. Lee Beater doing well to come back after breaking his jaw. A hurried kick, goes straight. The prop forward, Steve Worthington, Sterling under a bit of pressure from the defence. Taken back up by Michael Carberry. Look at the Parramatta big men come in, knocked him back a good 5 metres. A lot more weight in the Parramatta pack. Through the halves quickly, that's Patterson getting it out to Upfield, standing wide. Hetherington received a presentation before the game today for 100 games with the Steelers. Mackie for touch and finds it. Useful breeze behind Illawarra in the first half here. And an excellent kick from Greg Mackie, who you'll recall was the man of the match when you last saw Illawarra. Penalty this time, and it's to Illawarra. Feed across from Parramatta. Illawarra can keep up the pressure they've got going for them here with the breeze behind them. Very, very strong, icy breeze. And Illawarra keen today to amend the record of the last couple of weeks when their performance have been very poor. In freezing conditions, they lost in all 3 grades to Canberra last week. So Illawarra to work a move near the line. Bolt's ball goes back. The prop forward O'Connell. Bolt again. Goes on his own a metre or 2 short. He's the longest serving first grader out there. O'Connell wants to switch. Worthington! and it went loose. He was trying to slip it to Wayne McPherson. Parramatta come up with it, but it could well have been a try to the Steelers.
Certainly could. It was a good chance there. And full credit to the Steelers. They try to keep the ball alive.
Sterling again. Price. Mosley with Wynn and Taylor. By the scruff of the neck, Carberry-Dexy. Last tackle for Parramatta. Sterling, look at the breeze, hold that up. It's blowing it back and across. Stan Brown. That's Owen Saunders, the replacement today for McIndoe. O'Connell. Seamus O'Connell. Mackie. Kissel. McPherson in the line, wide. So the Steelers getting good field position here. Let's see what they can create on the last tackle. It's Kissel. And Sterling making sure that the Steelers couldn't get another boot to it. It was a clever kick from Kissel. And Sterling just fudging it forward.
Certainly was, only a slight one.
Mosley. Parramatta just working it for position. Got a few moves worked out. Lee beat up. A good crashing run again. 3 or 4 men involved to try and stop him. Bugden.
Parramatta trying to use their forwards to pull in the defence of the Illawarra Steelers, and they'll try to get the ball out wide.
Flick to Taylor from Sterling. Lee beat up with the bomb. That's upfield. He's lost it, and Parramatta get it back.
Bad mistake by upfield there. Should have gone to ground with the ball, tried to get the ball away.
Laurie plays it. Mosley feeds it. That's Sterling. Kenny. Misses Bugden. Muggleton goes down on the quarter line. Taylor. Don't know whether he's expecting that one. Now Sterling's there again. Kenny. Long one. Price. He lost it as he came down. And Cooley recalls it for the scrum. We've had no score after 10 minutes.
Well, I'm not surprised that Pricey dropped this one. It's a cut-out pass, but he had to jump in the air for it.
Delroy. Parramatta looking pretty well organised in the first 20 minutes. Mosley.
Well, they're going through safety-first football. They're not trying anything really outrageous.
Inside the 5. Another opportunity for Parramatta to get down near the line.
Their coach, John Money, is full aware that the Eels will have this very, very big advantage of the strong wind in the second half. And he's certainly playing the right tactics here whilst playing into the wind. Safety first, nothing silly.
Sterling with growth. It's Bugden. Leadbeater went up as well as the decoy runner. Just keep hammering it up near the ruck. Now a spin through Sterling. A good switch. That's Wynn. Full of variety, Peter Sterling. The little generals one off the ruck again. Looking for the play. Looking for a runner. Sandwiched in the tackle. A few metres out, Parramatta. Muggleton. That's Mosley. Mosley for Kenny. It's bouncing awkwardly. It's a try, I think. Taylor scored it. No try. Well, it was a near thing. The ball was loose. And we'll see the Parramatta hands reaching out for it in goal. You make up your mind. Did he drop it?
Yes.
Taylor, Sterling, quickly to Kenny, Hardy in, that's Delroy, Saunders into the tackle, and eventually Wynn out of the scrum to clean up.
Good job that Wynn was there, because that was try time. That ball would have gone loose. There was two Steelers there to pick it up.
Sterling, Kenny. Laurie's ball to Muggleton. Muggleton unloads it, was knocked down by the Steelers. Count starts again. Wynn, straight at the defence. Mosley, hoping for the opening. Wynn, Sterling. Didn't work that time. The Steelers get it. Trying to get the play moving with Kenny. That broke down. Brown. See if the Steelers can control it. Mosley is running around without his boot at the moment. Just saw him come up on the fringe of the play there. Mackey's kick out towards Eden. And Taylor. Saunders misses Taylor. Hardy comes in. Delroy. Another boot goes flying off the paddock. It's Mosley's. Mosley plays on. Bugden. Wynn. Sterling into a bit of space behind McPherson and Saunders. It's Eden by the coattail. It's McPherson. The Illawarra have had a strong breeze, but they played most of the half inside their quarter.
They certainly have. They haven't utilised the strong breeze, but I get the impression that the Steelers are beginning to build in confidence now. There's still no score after 25 minutes. And the few gaps have been opening up in the Eels' defence, especially close into the play-the-ball area.
Here's Mackey clearing. He's got some room here and support. Mackey kicks ahead again. A little bump there from Taylor. It's been chased. Look at Mackey fly and Eric Groth. And Eric Groth knocks it dead in goal. Groth was flying. A great bit of football by Mackey. 2 kicks ahead. And a great race for the ball. And you'll see Groth coming from nowhere to save the day for Parramatta when Mackey very nearly got to it. Look at that.
Well, he's earned his wages as Eric Groth this afternoon. Certainly took a load out of him.
There's Mosley still playing with a missing boot. Bugden. Illawarra keep making the tackles. They've had to do plenty of work in defence. Lebeater has another run. Loses it. There it is. Upfield's onto it. Another chance. Mackey. That's Carberry. Upfield. Slipped it well. Kissel. Inside. Hardy running beautifully. Wynn made the tackle. O'Connell. It's gone loose. They've still got it. Back to Hardy. Another ball out here. Worthington. He shows it. Just 3 metres short. Last tackle for the Steelers. There's Mackey. Hardy. A good ball. And it's loose again. McPherson. That's Carberry. O'Connell puts up the kick. Mackey's after it. It's loose on the line and Parramatta come up with it. Tremendous work by Illawarra. Egged on by their vociferous hometown fans. Mackey not quite tall enough to beat them for the ball. The little flick to Kenny.
Well read by upfield. Picked him up early.
Sterling again. Wing plays it. Just 10 metres out for Parramatta. Laurie. Mosley burrowing. There's Wynn. Held up by Hetherington, McPherson and Patterson. He plays it, he's scored. He's not going to give a try for that. Now there'll be some dispute about it. It was a very quick play, the ball. He put it on the ground. He tapped it forward. Did he score? Have a look. There it goes. Taps it forward. Hand goes on.
Well, there's going to be plenty of talk about that. Well, I can't understand it. The Illawarra team, they were protesting that they'd held the tackler, that held Wynn up over on the in-goal area. The referee allowed him to come back and play the ball.
Well, he certainly played it in the field of play. He wasn't over the line. He hit his foot. He went forward, put his hand on it. Maybe it was just too quick for the referee.
They have been slow before, Jim.
Mackey's kick. Now 5 minutes left in this half. Taylor comes back and well. Growth. Lost it. Steelers have got it again. Growth's come up with a handling error. It's a jolted free. Hetherington. Mackey. That's Patterson. Good ball to McPherson.
Desperation ankle tack by Paul Taylor there, saved the day.
Mackey's kick ahead. Taylor watching it. Takes it safely. And it'll be a line dropout because he took the ball just centimetres in the field of play and then was harassed quickly by the defence. So he probably thought as he took it that he was behind the line, but he wasn't. And the defence realised it. Mackey was onto him.
But it's been a very intriguing first half, Jim, because mainly the fact that, as I said, a case of 20 minutes on either side, Parramatta with all the possession early. They expected them to break, they didn't. And now it's the Steelers coming back into the game. We're finding that the Parramatta Eels making a lot of mistakes because they're a little bit frustrated.
The sign's gone for half-time, so McPherson will kick this out. And the Steelers will see if they can contrive something from the next play with time up on the board. No score at the moment. Parramatta coming up in anticipation. Now it's taken from the mark. Mackey, the short kick ahead and the chase. Flung back. Now it's opening up. There goes Brown. And Brown tackled. If he'd passed it, Kissel was furious that he couldn't slip another pass. And that's half-time. A stirring last 20 minutes from the home side here. 0-0 at half-time.
John Money told Parramatta he believes ground is to be made by running with the ball in this second half. He says their forwards have to work harder, particularly the markers. Over in the Illawarra dressing room, they don't know that. They've told their markers to work very hard on looking out for those Parramatta kickers. Illawarra believe the yardage is to be made also by running with the ball. Standing deep in the back line is what they've been told to do in this second half. Bob Millward says he's never seen an Illawarra dressing room more enthusiastic at half-time. The next 40 minutes, he says, could see history in the making because Illawarra have never beaten Parramatta. They think this is it today.
Well, it could be. The next 40 minutes will tell us, but we're going to have a look at an incident in the first half when Peter Wynn looked to have scored. Here it was. Now, look, Wynn seemed to be held up over the line. The referee maybe got a bit confused here. Perhaps he should have called for a scrum. He's pushed back into the field of play. Now he plays it, doesn't he? Fairly. And he puts his hand on it. It looked like he scored, Steve-O.
Yes, it was a fair try from that angle, but I also believe that the referee did make that mistake, and I think he just got a little bit confused because it should have been a scrum.
Well, it's still 0-0. And Illawarra, in fact, had the better of the last 20 minutes in that first half. Parramatta start the second half knowing they've got a big breeze behind them, but their forwards certainly slackened their effort in the first half after a big start. That's Bugden.
Well, it may surprise a lot of people that their coach, John Mooney, says don't let's use a kick. I think what he wants them to do is to try to get the feel of the ball, because I think they were very complacent in the first half, and they've got to get into the swing of things. And it's all right chasing the ball downfield, but there's a kick.
It's Sterling kicking it out to Saunders' wing. Delroy's up there, so's Eden. Saunders, what a good run. And Delroy gets him in cover into touch.
Yes, they've got to get into this. It's a good run, this, by Saunders. Bad mistake, bad miss by Eden. Good cover tackle.
There's Kenny. What a beautiful little dummy. He keeps it going to win. Taylor. It's Laurie. Kenny's ball to Muggleton. Muggleton, a good break. Eden back in field. Win. Bolt with the tackle. Now Sterling. That's Price. And Laurie stepping. He's in under the posts. Well, Parramatta finding a few holes there in the Illawarra defence. Good backing up. And Mark Laurie, who's a tremendous club player, was there on the spot to back up Price as he cut out a man with the ball there, and Laurie scored under the posts. Eden with the conversion, and it's 6-0 to Parramatta. Very early in the second half they've scored here. There's 2 minutes gone. It'll be a real boost for them, and Illawarra will have to watch themselves here that the game doesn't slip away from them, and quickly.
Certainly will, Jim, but they're pretty keen themselves.
It was their 53rd try of the season, Parramatta. The highest in the premiership. A total of 316 points they've scored this year.
It was interesting to watch in that last play, Jim, the fact that Sterling, in the sixth play of the ball, Sterling was controlling it for the first 4, and yet in the first half, it was very rarely seen as a passing, taking control of the game. He was there for the kick, but not for the control in the pass.
That's Kenny's ball. They make a mess of it. Illawarra in with a show. O'Connell. Good tackle from Sterling. Patterson, 35 out. Hetherington with Kissel. Hardy. Brown. That's Mackey. Kissel. Sterling on the second line there. Price's ball to Wynn. Wynn gallops ahead. Look at him thrust upfield. Tremendous determination from Peter Wynn. So often just beats the man off early on. Taylor through. Danger signs for the Illawarra defence, allowing Parramatta to run. It's Leabeater. Sterling with Laurie. Sterling again. Strong defence from upfield. Muggleton to play it. Mosley, Sterling, a field goal, and he's put it through. 7-0. Sterling, a very neat field goal. So 5 minutes into the second half, Parramatta a try, a goal and a field goal ahead. On the last tackle, Muggleton. Saunders. McPherson. O'Connell. Illawarra found a few gaps in the Parramatta defence in the last half. Kissel took it well. It's Worthington harassed there by Peter Witt. Kissel, Mackie, Patterson's ball with Carberry. Upfield into touch. Peter Sterling in trouble. We'll wonder how serious that injury is with the replacement Mark Kokas coming on for the Eels. Sterling looking pretty unhappy about it. We'll try and get a report for you on that. Here was the earlier play that led to Sterling's injury. He went down there.
It looked like one of his own players came in late. Muggleton sort of hit him. I think the hip bone may have hit Sterling right on the top of the head.
Illawarra, well, at least at this stage, giving them some new hope with Sterling off and that goal, just 5 points behind. Plenty of time left. It's Patterson, a Kissel wide of the ruck to McPherson. McPherson's ball finds Carberry. Carberry lost control of it. It went forward. Groth's coming up with it now. Look at that for a run. The power of the man. He runs right over the top of them. Kenny's scrambled it. We've still got Bugden out of action, downfield. He's going to limp off. Be another replacement for the Eels. Lee Beater. With Mosley. That's Kokas. Taylor. Kokas again. Delroy. Illawarra keep up the hunt. Paul Mears, who is probably back in first grade next week, is out there to replace Bugden. Another run from Wynn. Mosley with Taylor. Oh, they're under some pressure there, and Patterson's got the drop ball from Price.
You don't often see Ray Price drop the ball under a lot of pressure there.
The super keen Illawarra side. Here they go again. Hardy. Carberry to O'Connell. Now to Bolt. Off the boot of upfield. The sloppy stuff, and Parramatta get it back. Well, the Steelers real stumbling that time, really stumbling in possession. They had a good chance. Still plenty of time for them.
A little bit too much panic there, Jim. The Steelers must realise there's only 5 points in this game.
That's Mears. Lost the ball. Saunders. Now Illawarra's chance again. Parramatta are a bit disorganised. So are Illawarra in attack. Hetherington. The referee having a look at it as the crowd yell for offside against Mears.
He was a mile offside, Jim. Never attempted to get back into position.
Mackie. Kissel. That's upfield. Hardy. Brown. Well picked up by Hardy. Good sprint by Hardy. And pass inside to McPherson, but he's passed it off the ground. He was held. Well, Hardy made a great run. The infield pass was probably worth it, but he decided to go on. He had a look. He went on, took on Taylor, who grabbed him. You could see he was held, and then he got up, and the referee gave the penalty to Parramatta.
Well, that was panic football. If it had been the last minutes or the dying seconds, you could understand it. But not when you've got 20 minutes of the game remaining. Great lead-up work, wasted in the end.
Levita. Mosley, what a beautiful dummy up the middle to Mears. Here's a go, win. Kokas with him. Kokas is sprinting for the corner, and
It's
young Kokas is going to score, but he's pulled it back. He's pulled it back for a forward pass. Phil Cooley has ruled a forward pass. Kokas sprinted for the corner. And here was the action.
It's a touch-and-go effort. I think the referee might be correct.
The Illawarra fans think so. Saunders. Well, from the game's viewpoint, it was a great decision. It keeps it going.
It certainly was.
5 points still between them. That's Hetherington. 18 minutes left.
Well, Hooker Mosley will be spitting chips there. He made that what should have been a try.
Here's Hardy again on the end of the line. Tackled by Delroy. O'Connell running into Mears and Mosley. Mackey. Little slip to Patterson. And there's the break for Worthington. He's got Mackey. He gives it to McPherson. McPherson, will he be chased down? It's to Mackey. Mackey tries to step. Well, had the pass gone to Mackey in the first place, he may have scored under the post, but they've still got a chance. Kissel over the top. That's O'Connell. Parramatta recovering to make the tackles. It's the last one for Illawarra. Worthington. Kissel. Patterson inside. Hetherington's ball to Brown. He throws it anywhere. It ends up with Mears. And again, Illawarra are denied. They've had some great raids on the Parramatta line, but still no try.
And it all gets down to that last pass, Jim. They're just panicking. They should have put the bomb up there, put a lot of pressure on.
There's Grove. Delroy. Delroy in the clear. Delroy down the touchline. McPherson comes across. He steps in. Oh, what a great step. What a great run by Delroy. And Taylor couldn't handle it. They've bombed a certain try after a spectacularly brilliant run from Mick Delroy. And the pass just in front of Taylor. You couldn't blame him for dropping it.
It was a difficult one. But we're seeing bomb tries from one end of the field to the other. You really have got to take your hat off to these Illawarra players, especially the forwards. They've toiled away. None better than Seamus O'Connell, the prop forward. He's been in everything.
33 tackles for O'Connell. But it's an attacking bust that they need here. Mackey with Patterson. They're probing for some chink in Parramatta's armour here. Maybe a kick over the top. Cut-out pass. It's Worthington. Hetherington to halfway. Good dummy. Hetherington back in field now. It went forward. It went forward. Kissel will be recalled. But the play was on. And as you've heard mentioned a number of times in this game from Steve-O, and you've seen it all, it's that last pass. And Hetherington that time getting around the man. No doubt about it.
Certainly no doubt about it, but he had to take the chance. He realises now that the minutes are ticking away.
Parramatta ball to Kokas. Roth Another damaging run by Eric Grave. Here goes Price. No support on the outside. Taylor, but it will be a penalty against Brown. Phil Cooley, who's a tender-footed in first-grade football, has had his hands full today, but I don't think there was any doubt about that one. McPherson, despite the fact that he was saying excuse me with his hands, had his feet all over him.
No excuse for that, and that really could seal the game.
Been almost 450 tackles so far in the game. A game of tremendous movement. A good kick from Eden, and they're 7 points clear. And that could be the safety margin now for Parramatta. They lead 9-2 in a game where there's only been one try, but easily, quite easily, there could have been 8 or 9 of them.
Certainly could, Jim. There's been opportunism from either side, and that's the main reason why Mike Eden's been put on the wing into the first-grade side. They've struggled for so many games, the Eels, missing those vital goals at vital times.
Short kick off. It's got to go 10. It has just... Oh, that was a hairliner. Hardy sprinting forward. He picked it up just as it got to that 10-metre mark. Patterson with Mackey. That's Worthington. The Steelers charging at it. They need to try and quickly to stay in the hunt. Mackey to Patterson. Oh, he's made the error.
Well, he's played so well the second half, Patterson. That's his first bad mistake. Couldn't have come at a worse time either.
Now Mears for touch, and he finds it. So a defiant Illawarra looked like going down here, but not after a tremendous battle with Parramatta. And one of the most entertaining Saturday games we've had, despite the fact that only one try's been scored.
It could well have been 7 or 8 tries. Both sides had the opportunity, but it's been that final pass once again.
It's all valuable time for the Eels. And it's a tight head.
Well, he's done his job well as Mosley, the hooker, for Parramatta. That's 2 against the head at a vital time.
Mosley, one of many committed 80-minute players out there today. There's Laurie. And that's it. Full time. So Parramatta's undefeated record against Illawarra stays intact. They're still the only team that Illawarra haven't beaten in the competition. They gave it a good run today, but they didn't quite make it. Parramatta scoring a try early in the second half through Laurie. Sterling a field goal, 2 goals to Eden. And for Illawarra, McPherson kicked a goal. A tremendous game down here.
And so it's on to the Channel 10 NEC big game at Leichhardt Oval between Balmain and Manly. Warringah fresh from that huge defeat last weekend over St George, 52-20. Of course, Balmain, they're on the losing end last weekend against Parramatta, and they have to win. It was a must situation at Leichhardt Oval for Balmain to stay alive in the race for the 1986 semi-finals as they took on the premiership leaders, the Sea Eagles.
Welcome to the NEC big game in round 17 of the Winfield Cup between Balmain and Manly Warringah. It was today's match coming out of Leichhardt Oval. It was round 4 when Manly and Balmain met at Brookvale, and it was a hard-fought 16-14 win to the Eagles. At this point in time, they lead the premiership table jointly with Parramatta on 26 points, but of course the Eels have had that extra match yesterday. Balmain just 2 points out of the top 5 on 18. Well, it's the Tigers' home game today, a match they must win to stay in contention for the semi-finals and, more importantly, within reach of the top 3. Their team reads out as Jack, Gartner, Conlon, Schofield, Gale, Myler, Bridge, Pearce, Maguire, Siren and Roach, Elias and Marquito. The Eagles flying high. They've won 8 of their last 9. And their team is Gurr, Ronson. We believe Gibbs will play centres with Shearer, Davis, Cox, Blake goes to half. Lyons, Cleal, Cullum into the second row. Paulson, Cochrane, Daly, And the referee is Mick Stone for today's NEC big game. Conlon gets this match off and running. Balmain running left to right, and Cleo it is who comes back with it. Very cold day, some cloud, and a very strong breeze blowing from behind Manly in the first 40. Daly. Bad ball to send back for Gurr, but still able to get quite a good kick in. Gardner. Jack. Bridge. Myler. Pierce. Roach now. And the leg was Cullum. He's wearing jumper number 22. Marquito. And a penalty goes to Balmain. Right on the halfway line against Cliff Lyons. And Bridge, who finds the line just outside the Manly 22. I tell you what, with this breeze, the way it is blowing in the second half, don't be surprised if Conlon takes a kick in this match from well over 50 metres. Elias with a little chip on an early tackle. Gurr there to take it safely. It was a variation in their play, and that's good thinking. Here it is again on the NEC replay. Gurr with his eyes on the ball, side on to it. His arms cradling the ball in. Shearer. Richie Paulson. Cochrane gets a kick in as he's thumped to the ground by Surinam. Gale now. Big test out there for Ronson. Jack backs him up. 32 metres out. Manly into the ground. Across it comes from the winger again. And over now to Schofield. And this is Elias. And now Maguire gets a fend on a Manly player through Conlon. The ball has gone to the number 2. But Gartner puts it down. Daly, pulled down by Conlon. A little bit of help there from Roach. Cochrane. Penalty goes to Manly. And a bit of a dust-up out there. Nobody's going to get hurt, I don't think. Elias made a simple front-on tackle on Cochrane. Roach came over the top. The referee by now has said, well, the ball's not going to be promoted by the ball carrier, and he's pinched Elias for stealing the ball after the tackle had been effected. What happened after that, I'm not too sure, but there's a bit of spite in this match, and as I said in the commentary, nobody's getting hurt at the moment. Probably the only people getting hurt are the patrons, because we've just been denied any rugby league yet.
I think what it shows is the desperate situation Balmain players find themselves in this game. It's a match they've absolutely got to win.
Paulson. Well, they got away to a shocking start, Balmain. They lost the 23s 30-18, and then the reserves. Heavens above, if they're looking for a confidence booster in reserves, they got beaten 44-0. And here's Wayne Pearce outside the 22 line. Good run by Pearce, and Schofield finds some openings to go through to the halfway. Gartner long ball across to Gale. Equally long ball out to Myler. Now it's Conlon. Conlon's into an opening. He's pursued by Gibbs. He's over the 40 and the 32 and the 22. Gets the kick in. It comes into the in goal. Bounces outside the dead ball line. Out to the 22 line as the crowd goes back to their seats. This is a tap from the 22 to restart. Here was Conlon wishing that he could kick off that other foot. He had to slice one off his right foot. Oh, mistake there by Cochrane, and knock on. It's a Balmain feed to a scrum just outside the quarter. This is a big day here for Benny Elias and Mal Cochrane. Of course, Elias, he had the green and gold jumper, but through misfortune lost it. And Roy Simmons, of course, is the frontline contender, but the man that he's hooking against, Malcolm Cochrane, well, he's having a brilliant season. He was out in front of the Dally M's, and they're doing everything that anybody asked of him. This is Sirenen. And a penalty to Balmain. Well, there's been plenty of niggling out there, and I think Manly may, on that occasion, have taken the bait. So now Conlon says, I'll take this one, thank you. Right in front on the 22. Into the breeze, I don't really care. Conlon with a simple one for him. He gets the 2 points. Balmain draw the first blood. The NEC big game scoreline. Balmain 2, Manly 0. Dale Shearer getting it going. Well, that might not have come off the arms. He's ruled that it did. Now Lyons, well, he's put Lyons in the sin bin. That's his third occasion that he's had to talk to Cliffy Lyons, the lock, and Stone has sent him to the sin bin. The whistle had blown. Stone had ruled that Maguire knocked on from the kickoff. Maguire then ran with the ball, and I must admit to you, if it was me, I'd run with the ball too, because I didn't think Maguire did knock on. To me, it came off the chest or shoulder area. But in the meantime, of course, Lyons knocked him over, and that's what brought him the 5 minutes in the sin bin. Not only that, but I would think the 2 previous occasions that Stone had to talk to him.
Well, Balmain have come up with a ball. They were very fortunate to do that for the second time in this game. They had a tap penalty and elected to put the ball on the boot and see if they could come up with a result. They did, and it was a poor kick, but they've got out of it well. Classical piece of dummy half play there by Elias. Bridge, Myler. Play just on the Manly side of halfway. Roach. Pearce. Good pass by Pearce under extreme pressure, and Myler has bungled it. He was under a cloud, Tony Myler, as to whether he would play. Apparently a heavy virus took its toll during the week. But after Pearce had done the good lead-up work, Myler made the mistake. I thought Myler was coming back the wrong way anyhow. There was an opportunity out wide for Balmain to spread the ball, and I must say, even in these early moments, that I think the loss of the Manly centre, Chris Close, is going to throw the Manly defensive pattern right out of order. Ron Gibbs isn't fitting in as well out wide as I thought he would. His positional play leaves a little bit desired. Wayne Pearce giving a penalty. And Shearer taking the line kick. Busy week in front of fellows like Dale Shearer, Wayne Pearce, Steve Roach, Noel Cleal, Gary Jack. I was just going to say, have I missed any? Paulson. And a penalty to Manly. An easy one coming up for Mal Cochrane. Roach not happy with the referee's decision. There's the NEC replay of the tackle on the Manly player. And Roach comes up screaming blue murder. This should even it up. Big breeze at his back. Assessed by Graham at around 10. Cochrane a good straight up and down kicker, and he's got it. Well, as Tony Myler was under that cloud I was talking about, being sick during the week, so too was there a question mark on Des Hasler. He was in and out, but
it's turned out that he's on the sidelines, and he's there right now with Graham Hughes.
Des, it's been a bit of a bustling start by Balmain.
It has, it should be a very intense game. This is, I think, it's make or break for Balmain, so I think they realise they're going to go for the points, and so far...
Gary Jack with a very big run, inside 32, inside the quarter, backing up is Conlon. Conlon goes to ground with the ball. Mike Marquito was unmarked over in the centre of the ground. From Bridge now, dummy half to Gale, who comes in to make the extras. Roach, the ball was deflected, I think, probably by Manly. He's ruled no. And play on as Elias gets it away to Paul Sirinen. And Sirinen has tackled 15 metres out from the Manly line. Playing it back now to Conlon. We'll stay with it and go back to Des Hasler and Graham in a moment. Makito takes it up and Pearce runs onto it. Gets the ball back to Myler, but the ball has been knocked on and a scrum is to pack down. Yes, Graham.
Des, they're making a bit of a lie. The fact I've already said this breeze has got to be worth 10 points to Manly.
Yeah, it's a very strong grin in it, so it's important, you know, for us to get the points up in the first half.
What about yourself? It's been a fortnight now that you've been out. When you like to be back?
I'll be back next week. I've had sort of having the bye and then the break against St George last week. It's just given me a chance to for it to heal a little bit, so I'll be back next week.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Thanks very much, Graham.
Manly getting the differential penalty, and as they prepared to take it, this man Gibbs went down on the ground. He's up again now. I'm wondering if he wasn't trying to get a message to the bench, because, Bill, you had a theory that twice now Gibbs has been beaten for pace.
The last long break that Balmain made was after Gary Jack went down his left-hand side of the field. Gibbs was the man filling in that right centre position out wide, but he just couldn't go with Jack for pace at all. I think the experiment of playing Gibbs out in the centre, while it was the right one at the start of this game, could well be the rock on which Manly perish, purely because Balmain are going to spread the ball out there. They've got plenty of pace, but Gibbs is finding it hard to go with them.
So maybe it's... Well, it is likely as we find the ball being thrown around, and it comes down to Mitchell Cox. He turns it inside to Lyons. That was a forward pass to Cullum.
Well, neither side settled into their pattern at all.
Schofield! Shearer's got him. It's gone in. Intercepted by Cullum. Oh, Cullum really bundled over by Conlon. That hurt Cullum. That's really hurt Cullum. He's really stung. Well, here's this passage of play. Conlon drew the man beautifully before putting Schofield into an opening. The ball went inside and Cullum intercepted, and then Conlon got him and drove him into the ground. Schofield to Conlon. Conlon stepping back inside, finding Schofield, wrapping it is Myler. Myler treading on the accelerator, gives it to Scott Gale, and he's gone into touch.
Well, another example of what we were saying before. Neither side has settled into their pattern. That's been caused by the stop-start and dropping of the ball. But the number of breaks that are being made, it's only a matter of minutes, I'm sure, before a try is scored.
Paulson, Shearer, Schofield the tackler. Cox. 5 tackles gone. Bridge is going across quickly. Gale is folding back. Ronson is coming quickly. And it's gone in touch in goal, so it's coming out for a line drop out to restart. Hey, Jove. Ronson was really gobbling up the ground. I don't know whether Gary Bridge realised how close it was going to be. Graham Bill has pointed out that Ron Gibbs seems to be having a trouble with positional play and with pace. You've noticed some changes out there.
Well, as we see another Manly a mistake, I think this ball did come off Stuart Davis, so it'll be a Balmain feed. Yes, Noel Clearle has been told to go to the inside centre position, take the inside centre position, and here we see as the scrum packing down, now Ronnie Gibbs coming into the second row.
Yes. As Balmain win the scrum. Jack across to Conlon. Gale, oh gee, Gale's having a horrible first half. Whether he's been given some bad passes or not remains to be argued, but the fact is he's a winger, he's got to be alert, and many times Scott has put it down for no other reason than his inability to catch the ball. I know he's not very happy out there on the wing, but he's just going to have to get used to it. This is Cox. Gurr. Gibbs. I reckon this positional change wasn't necessarily one that was picked up on the bench either. I think Gibbs was trying to get a message to them. He needed help. He needed advice. 2-2. Cochrane. It's a good battle between these two lads today, Elias and Cochrane. They're both playing strongly. Cox. 5 tackles gone now for the Eagles. Blake goes for the drop goal, and referee Stone awards the drop goal. So here's a scoreline with a bit of a difference. Manly 3, Balmain 2, as we see Blake taking the drop goal opportunity, and no doubt about the ruling. 3-2 in favour of Manly. Cox. Pretty ordinary defence there by Balmain. Both the 5/8 and the lock had a go, and they both missed. Now, Cox unable to play the ball. Let's have a look and see what happened to Cox here. There he is throwing. Oh, gee, Myler looks like he's got the right knee right into to Cox. What's going on there? Daly. Cochrane. Blake. That's a nicely placed kick. Dale back foot. Smothered there by Gibbs and Elias. Elias now with the ball. And the referee has picked up a swinging arm, and a couple of more swinging arms going in now. Big Roach in the middle of it. Gale was the man that took it, but it was Elias who was still on the ground, wasn't it? He got off 2 shots, did he? Yeah. So the penalty goes to Balmain. Gale. Makito. Gale. Bridge. And it's with Gale again, and now it's Sirinen. Sirinen over the halfway. That's a fancy piece of work by Balmain. It nearly worked to its fullest for them. Bridge. Myler. Makito. Back inside for Myler. Across now to Roach. Roach sees a gap. He sprints through it. He's gone up to almost to the 22 line. Dummy half Myler. Long ball to Marquito. Now to Conlon. Up to the 22. Pearce goes back in field, but he's tackled. 5 gone now for Balmain. Jack. Elias. He goes for the drop goal. Benny Elias. It's wide. Gurr's going to be forced to take it. And it's a line drop out to restart. 5 minutes of play remaining in the first half.
And surely there's going to be a try scored before half-time when we consider the huge number of breaks that both teams have made.
Drop kick by Dale Shearer. Not a good one, although it's bouncing badly. Myler will go over towards Gary Jack here. Tackled on the halfway by Gibbs and Cochrane. Now it's Elias. This is Maguire. Bill tells me he's already played state league for Victoria and the Northern Territory.
Yeah, he took a year off rugby league after playing for the representative countryside and travelled to Victoria and Northern Territory. Actually, he's played against England.
Elias can't take it, neither can Sirinen. Manly come up with it via Gurr. Davis. Daly. Ron Gibbs getting some attention. Elias. Roach. Back now, 6 more tackles. Bridge has got the ball. They're 15 metres out. Now they're 10 metres out. That's the first of 6 tackles. Schofield, a slow pass out to Elias. Away to Myler. Myler goes for an opening. Myler draws them. Oh, Conlon can't take it. The ball was around the knees. Well, Balmain had Manly absolutely carved up here. And the ball was low down towards Conlon's knees. Cox on the ground, so play unable to continue at the moment. Couple of minutes from half-time. Cochrane wrestled, the ball comes out the side. Played by Elias. Away it goes now for Marquito. And Maguire is very close to the line. It's a penalty to Balmain. Manly inside the 5.
Shearer was metres offside here, but Stone played the advantage, waiting to see if Balmain could capitalise and come up with a try. When they couldn't, he gave them the penalty.
Conlon to take the shot at goal. This was Cochrane being tackled. See, what concerns me about this passage of play is the consistency. Earlier, the very same thing happened, and a penalty was given. I tried to explain it in detail at the time, and there was nothing different in what you just saw, and no penalty was given. Now we find Balmain with the shot at goal. Ross Conlon with 1 out of 1. An easy one from practically under the crossbar. He gets the 2 points, a change in leadership. Balmain 4, Manly 3. Oh, it's bounced in the field of play. Wayne Pearce looked at it. He had it on his radar and he said, this is going out for sure. Watch this, bingo. So it's a Balmain feed. Wayne was, I think, almost ready to take the penalty. Gary Bridge simply takes the tackle, and there it is, the half-time break. 4 points to 3 in favour of the Tigers. Here's Graham on the sideline.
A big first half here to Balmain. 4-3 in favour of the Tigers here at the break. I said it before and I repeat it. I think the breeze was worth 10 points to Manly in this first 40 minutes. They didn't use it enough. And the key man in this second half for Balmain will be their halfback, Gary Bridge. I think we'll see a lot of kicking from him. And Manly still having problems in defence out wide in that centre position.
And Manly have had to make a change. Mitchell Cox is off. Graham, who's on?
Glenn Quetcher is on. He's moved to the wing. He's in 31. We just might have to wait and see see what these team changes in position might mean. It might mean that Cliff Lyons might move out to the 5'8" position.
It was a good kick-off by Shearer. He realised the Balmain players were back something like 14 metres. He just tapped the ball from the kick-off. It went the required 10, and he dropped on it. That's good alert thinking.
This is Big Daly. As the tackle counts in the first half. Roach topping it for Balmain and Cochrane narrowly topping it for Manly. A lot of stoppages, though, in that first half. Cochrane chips ahead. Elias goes back to take it, but there's a penalty to Manly. His progress was impeded by a Balmain player, so the penalty is given where the ball lands. And this is right in front for Cochrane, just 12 metres out. Flags up. 2 points to Manly. And so the Eagles back in front at 5 points to 4. Conlon's kick hitting the upright. And Gurr has knocked on. So a great opportunity here for Balmain from this scrum, just 5 metres out from the Manly line. And there it was, just a tiny knock on by Marty Gurr. Myler, a double run round, and Pearce picks it up. To the right, they're getting ready. Bridge takes a dummy half run back to the blind side. This is Gale. Back now for Elias. Elias to within 5 metres, centre of the ground. Roach. And Maguire. Maguire, he's gone for a double movement. Penalty Manly. Here's the action coming straight down the barrel of this camera. He most definitely falls short and then tries to improve the position of the football. Stone indicating he saw what the fans thought was a knock-on, but he indicated that it came off the foot, and a penalty goes to Manly. Touch judges in. That was the tackle on Gibbs. They really dealt it out to him, Elias and Bridge. Oh, Bridge has had a cheap shot on him for sure. So Gibbs goes to get up, and then Bridge gives it to him again. So Manly gets the penalty. Shearer. Lyons. Here's Quetcher coming up on the outside, but Gale has come away with the ball for Balmain. Makito. Conlon, bad pass to him. Schofield, Gardner. Schofield backed him up nicely. Gardner. Myler. Maguire to the halfway, he's lost it. Shearer. Touch judge coming in from the other side of the ground. He's already given the penalty to Manly. He's already given a penalty to Manly. The touch judge coming in while Manly were in possession indicates to me that he was going to report a matter dealing with the attacking team, which of course is Manly. But he's already given the penalty to Manly on the far side of the ground, so he's going back to where the original breach occurred. He's going right back to where the touch judge is making the report. This will be a Balmain penalty, I think. He wants the number 10, he wants Gibbs. Now, Gibbs is coming in on the right. He seemed to just simply run into Pearce there. That's all he did. Well, I can't see too much wrong with what Gibbs did there.
There's nothing in it. I think that that penalty's been earned by Ron Gibbs' reputation rather than anything he did.
Well, here's the angle for Conlon's kick. He's 11 metres in. He's right on the halfway, a 50-metre kick. It's more than that, really. It's about a 53-metre kick to clear the crossbar. But I'm interested in the referee having awarded a penalty to Manly and then going back to where the touch judge... There's the kick. Oh, it's hit the top of the upright. And knocked on by Gibbs just in the field of play. Well, what a crazy old game of rugby league this is turning out to be. A chain of errors, almost comical mistakes. Here's Bridge. Pearce. Try line just 7 metres up the ground. Sirenen. It's pretty heavy stuff in there. Lyons around the leg. Shearer over the top. Elias throws the dummy and gains a couple of metres. Ball being played back to Sirenen, away to Bridge, on to Myler. Now to Schofield. This is Conlon. Conlon going for the corner. Yes! The Tigers score the try. Ross Conlon wide out scores the first try of the match. Well, this can all be taken back to the most controversial point in the game, and there's been plenty of it. Here's the try, simply a case of stretching the ball with good catching and passing, and then Conlon was in to score, wide out, and he's got a very difficult attempt to convert.
It's amazing that a try should take so long to come in a game that's been full of breaks.
I'm just racking my brain on the strength of a penalty having been awarded and then going over the top of his ruling to go back and give Balmain that penalty that led to this try. I think you'll find the referee was right in what he did. That's my understanding of the rule that he applied. I think you'll find he's right. But oh dear, what a controversial one. There's the kick from Conlon, wide of the uprights. And so look at this scoreboard. It's Balmain now leading Manly by 8 points to 5.
Could easily be wrong, but I'm very much starting to get the feeling that Balmain are getting a good roll on here. Manly starting to struggle, Balmain looking good. They're putting their game together fairly effectively midway through this second half.
Benny Elias, a torpedo low punt kick over towards that touchline. It's not going, is it? No, he found it. Well, Marty Gurr was positive the ball didn't find the line. Here it is on the NEC replay. And the touch judge convinced that the ball went into touch before Gurr picked it up. And thus Manly came up with the feed, to the best of my knowledge, so that was one against the head. Now the wide ball, and Jack gets the ball away. Gale has got it, tackled by Cleal. desperate defence by the Eagles now. Trailing by 3. Conlon from dummy half tackled. Elias. Myler.
Well, the Eagles are trying to hang on as if their lives depended on it, but they've had a lot of things break against them in this match.
Elias again, stopping and stammering, and then the ball to Schofield, picked up by Marty Gurr. Gurr tackled just inside his 22 line. Opportunity after opportunity lost by, well, particularly Balmain. Paulson. Daly, oh, he's put it down. And Wayne Pearce has got the ball for Balmain. Bridge, Conlon, back for Marquito, tackled by Cochrane. Play on the Manly 22 line. Sirenen, well tackled by Ron Gibbs. Roach, Pearce, absolutely hammering himself at the opening between the two players. Bridge, cuts out Myler, finds Schofield, short ball for Maguire. 5 tackles gone now. Schofield out from dummy half. Makito puts a kick into the corner, and Davis is there to take it for Manly. Cleo. 8 points to 5. The Tigers leading the Eagles in a tight and tense match here at Leichhardt. Noel Cleo injured. One of the Manly players not in this team today, Chris Close. Cochrane tackled by Elias now. Well, I've seen him play some very busy games, Benny Elias, but I don't think I've seen him play a more industrious role than he has here today. And here it is, wide to Gary Bridge, and Bridge is crashed to the ground by this Manly defence. Defence that's become, well, a hallmark of their performances in 1986 as a Balmain sortie goes on again, and Maguire can't take it cleanly. Another scrum is to go down, and another scoring opportunity goes down as well. This was Balmain stretching the ball, and out wider, not in the picture. They were going to have at least one man unmarked, and probably 2, but they couldn't take advantage of the opportunity. Another report from a touch judge. In fairness to this referee, I've got to say it's been probably one of the most difficult matches that I've seen this year. For a man with the whistle to control and make the right decisions all the time. It's been a very, very hectic one. And it doesn't change my opinion on a couple of his rulings in the first half, though, by the same token. Daly now. Well, there's that consistency I was talking about as Gale goes back to the 22. You can't give a penalty for it once and then not do it repeatedly through the game. That's what puts a question mark on it. Stealing the ball. Out to Myler, on to Conlon, out to Schofield. Schofield to the 22, shapes the flick pass, goes himself, and he's tackled about 10 metres out from the Manly try line. Ball being played by Schofield now. Pass by Gardner to Conlon. Conlon to Gale. Gale away to Myler. Myler gives it on now to Pearce. Pearce on it goes to Bridge. Bridge goes back into the middle of the park. He finds Benny Elias, who finds Scott Gale. Gale gets a pass away. It's out with Mike Marquito. The big front rower goes down the middle. He tries to get a pass away but can't, and he'll play the ball. 12 metres out from the Manly uprights. Benny Elias goes himself. Gets the pass out the back for Gary Schofield, and he's put on the ground. Still 10 metres out from the Manly line. Desperate defence by Manly. The ball comes wide out to Myler. Myler goes back inside, flicks a pass around the corner for Conlon. Conlon looking for runners. He loses the ball. Manly can't capitalise. Yes, they can. They've come up with the ball. So the pressure goes off the Eagles. Knocked backwards by Cleal. Gary Jack was screaming for help just a few seconds back. What's the trouble with him, Graham?
Well, it appears he went over on his ankle. He's managed to get back into position now. Frank Stanton did rush down to his reserves and asked for John Davidson to warm up. And he's also asked for Paul Clark, the reserve grade skipper and front rower, to warm up.
Ronson's tackled on the 22. 8 points to 5 in favour of Balmain with about 12.5 minutes of time remaining, and Manly loses the ball. It's a scrum to go down just outside the Manly 22 line. Paulson and Marquito giving us a shot for the future, I would think. That will come up somewhere in one of our goofy tapes from the world of rugby league this season. The two wise monkeys. Gale, a one-hander to Schofield. Schofield is almost away, but pulled out on the Manly 22.
It's a credit to Manly that they've been able to withstand this pressure. I just don't know how long they can keep hanging on.
But this isn't the first time this year that you've seen this defence from Manly. It's wide to Conlon. It's gone to Gary Jack. Jack gives it to Bridge. Bridge comes to Quetcher. Stands and offers it. Benny Elias has got the ball. He's 10 metres away from the Manly line now. Gary Jack is not a very healthy man at the moment. It's come across to Gary Schofield. On it goes now to Scott Gale. A wide ball to Wayne Pearce. Pearce back it goes to Conlon. Conlon goes towards the corner, and he's pulled down about 10 metres out from the line. Balmain leading by 3 points. 11 minutes of the match to go. Gale gives it on to Marquito. He's up towards the 10-metre line and pulled down. Still this Manly defence is holding them out as it comes from Schofield and goes to Roach. Roach gets it around the back. It came off a Manly player. 6 more tackles for Balmain. So more and more pressure mounted now for the Eagles. It's with Roach as he goes to the 10-metre line on tackle number 1. Roach to play the ball. Playing it back to Benny Elias. Scott Gale is at first receiver. They go blindside to Gary Jack, and he's tackled 8 metres out from the line. Elias again to dummy half. Gale runs with it. Stops and stutters there as he goes towards the line. It's a try. I think, no, he's short. I think he ran into the upright, in fact. Played by Gale. Forward, gets a hand to it. That's a try. It's a try to Scott Gale for Balmain to, in all probability, wrap up the match. Here it is. Gale kicks it ahead, and there's no question about it. It's a try scored by the Balmain wing three-quarter, who at the time was playing at halfback.
It was good, quick thinking by Scott Gale. He realised that Marty Gurr, the Manly fullback, was filling in the line and not in the in-goal area. He tapped the ball forward with his foot when there was no one at home. Came through, lunged at the ball, got his hand on it, and came up with the 4 points.
Gale, just 21 years of age. And as the selectors think about the Kangaroos, by gee, I tell you what, they wouldn't be very far wrong in putting him on the plane. Let's take our hat off to Manly. I kept, and so did Bill, referring to their gutsy defence. Conlon gets the extras, and 14 points to 5. That could be too much for the Eagles with just 9 minutes to go. Changes, Graham.
Bill Hardy for Manly is on in 24 in place of Phil Daly, and John Owens for Balmain in 22 took the place of Paul Sirinen, and for Manly also Paul Shaw, the reserve grade halfbacks, on the sideline in 20. I believe he'll be going on for Peter Cullen.
The dummy half is Hardy, a fresh man on. He might have a go. He does. He's fallen just a foot out, I suppose. He's tapped it ahead, put his hand on it, but the referee has given a penalty. Well, let's have a look at this. Well, he's ruled that Hardy handled the ball in the play the ball contest And it's going to mean a lot to Balmain, this 2 points that these 2 points they're picking up today. We're getting into a very dangerous situation, particularly when you measure it in relation to the top three. It's nice to make the semis, but I don't think there's a coach in Sydney football who would like to try and win the grand final from 4 or 5. You've got to be in the top three. Blake in, away, a sprint, looking to kick, looking for support, finding Mal Cochrane. 6 more tackles has been indicated as the ball goes out wide to big Bill Hardy. He's going to score. Yes, Hardy goes in to score for the Eagles. 14 points to 9. See it again as Phil Blake decided that he would cut loose. He mightn't have had the opportunities earlier in the day, but he's the sort of player that really has to be let go. Go out there and have a good time if that's possible. Cochrane was there to support. The referee said you've got 6 more if you want them. But Manly, they were looking for that try line, and big Bill Hardy doesn't get many of them, but he goes in to pick up that 4-pointer. And as I said, he played... there's the attempted conversion, unsuccessful, no change, 14 to 9, in fact no change at all, because the siren has sounded and Balmain has grafted their way to this Winfield Cup victory. Wayne Pearce congratulating Steve Roach. They'd be a very, very happy club tonight. Easily, I would say, the most controversial match we've televised this year, and very, very much a hot seat for the referee, Mike Stone. There'll be some passages of this game that'll be replayed for many, many hours tonight. Balmain 14, Manly 9, Conlon Gale the tries, Conlon 3 goals, Hardy for Manly a try, Cochrane 2 goals and Blake a drop goal. Now let's look at the results of matches already completed in this Winfield Cup round. Parramatta defeating Illawarra 9-2 yesterday. Cronulla 18, Canberra 4. Eastern Suburbs, the last match at the Sydney Sports Ground, 21, North Sydney 14, Balmain 14, Manly 9, and Canterbury defeated Penrith by 13 points to 8.
Greg Alexander booted the Panthers to a 4-0 lead with a couple of goals. Then Terry Lamb took control of the match. From this scrum, he jostled Rob Robards, stole the ball and darted away to score a converted try. Lamb was involved again 20 minutes later when he put up a high kick. Amid the confusion in the Panthers' in-goal area, winger Steve O'Brien got to the ball just before the dead ball line to put the Bulldogs ahead 12-4 at the break. The Panthers were proving a real handful for the Premiers, and they got their reward when Houghton and Howell did the lead-up before Ben Gonzalez finished off to score, and the Panthers were right in it at 12-8. Then that man Terry Lamb potted a vital field goal to give Canterbury a 5-point breathing space. Penrith then threw everything at Canterbury. Roy Simmons put up the kick, Sigsworth and Gillespie went up for it with Greg Clements from Penrith. The ball rebounded to number 22, Craig Izzard, who, according to referee Barry Barnes, knocked on, as the replay confirms. It was bad luck for Penrith, who still won plenty of friends in going down bravely 13-8 to Canterbury.
With the Bulldozers set to move in on the Sydney Sports Ground, the Roosters were determined to do well on their home ground for the last time this season. And with the match only 6 minutes old, a simple set play from Spina to Gary Worth was a sign of things to come. 9 minutes later, Hugh McGahn filled the defence with a perfect pass back inside for Worth, who showed his acceleration to score his second try. The hapless Bears couldn't do a thing right, and when Gary Worth made it a hat-trick of tries in the first 20 minutes, the half-time scoreline read 15-2. Certainly there was more enthusiasm on display during the break than the Bears showed in the first half. But to their credit, North came out blazing in the second half with a try to Brett French after 7 minutes, and again scoring in the latter stages of the match to trail by only 15-14. However, East put the issue beyond doubt right on full time with the try to Spina, making the final result Roosters 21, Bears 14.
At Ronson Field, Canberra continued their record of not winning away from Seaford Oval this season. Cronulla's rookie winger Sean Watson, playing only his third first-grade game since coming from the Riverina this year, had a day he'll always remember. He began with a couple of penalties, then finished off the opening try to give the Sharks a 12-0 half-time lead. Good work by Michael Speechley and Mark Magore in the second half set up the Sharks' second try. And when Sean Watson duly added the extras, he had a personal points tally of 14 points. Final score, Cronulla 18, Canberra 4.
Finally, on to Tui's Monday night football. South Sydney versus Western Suburbs under lights at the SCG. West were on the receiving end of a hammering last weekend at the hands of the premiers, Canterbury Bankstown. And I think George Piggins will be saying to his South Sydney team in this important clash as they try and stay in the hunt for the semi-finals, don't underestimate the Magpies. I'm pretty sure that's what George reiterated to his players as they took the field last Monday night.
Let's check the Magpies team with Billy Anderson.
Well, the Magpies did cop a hiding last weekend against Canterbury, but they've made a number of changes in an effort to get back on the winners list. I particularly like the shift of Clark from wing to 5'8", and that should give them a lot more thrust around the rucks. Their full line-up for tonight is Petherbridge, Sheehan, Trevor Cogger, Javal, Drummond, Brett Clark, Fox, Neil, Bill Beeger, Ian Schubert, who's captain, Crooks, Fowler and Ellis.
Well, there it is, the Western Suburbs side, and of course for South Sydney, their major obstacle tonight is to win and thereby stay out of the clutches of Canterbury, who are trying to grapple them down out of that top three. Do you agree about that summation of the game, Graham?
I certainly do, Ray. Yeah, it's an all-important clash for South Sydney tonight. If they've got any aspirations at all about finishing in the top three at the end of the season in the semi-finals, tonight is their big one because, of course, those semi-finals will then give them 2 bites at the Winfield Cup. Let's take a look at the South Sydney lineup. From fullback, Cruikshank, Ross, Baker, David Moon, Jason Moon, DeJura and Coleman are the halves. The forwards, Chisholm, Davidson, Les Davidson, Phil Gould, Rampling, Ian Roberts. Their hooker and captain, Mario Fennick.
So the shoe gets us going. West running from left to right. And Jason Moon it is who comes back to a point just inside the 10-metre line. This is Chisholm, the lock. Roberts. Another of the Neal brothers, Craig, playing in number 20 tonight. That familiar red hair. Coleman, Rampling. Oh, Rampling putting a little bit of a swerve and a step into his work. 10 metres from the line. Coleman, DeJura, Baker, Cruikshank. 12 metres out from the Western Suburbs line now. Fennick. And a penalty goes to South Sydney. Now, Crooks has been called out by the referee Harrigan. For that tackle on Fennick. South have had twice as much football. Baker's kick looks okay. Yes, it's a goal. You can always pick it with Baker. And South Sydney leading by 2 points to 0 in Tui's Monday night football. That's Ellis. And the penalty goes to West. Well, this is a certain 2 points. And still a little bit of niggling going on. That's inspired a couple of the Rabbitohs to try and get square. Oh,
can you believe that?
Schubert has opted against a certain 2 points. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think the referee should have set a scrum right there because Cogger appeared to knock on. But anyway, they've still got a couple of tackles left. But, oh, my goodness. Certain 2 points in front of the uprights. He might make me eat my words. Oh, dear, there was a Magpie put on his back. Petherbridge it was. Now Fox has lost it. I'm looking for the touch judge. He's going in now. Well, Petherbridge, he went down as though he had been hit over the back of the head with a hammer. There it is again. Davidson was the big man in the red and green jumper. And Schubert takes the kick at goal from right in front and gets the 2 points that the Magpies should have had 3 minutes ago. 2 points all. Monday night football.
Well, at the present time, I think South Sydney are certainly letting the game slip from them because they're trying to push the football. They've come up with a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties they're giving away. And if you allow a side like Western Suburbs to have a sniff of victory close to half-time, they're going to come out charging.
Here's Clark running off a crook special. They won't catch him. Little Brett Clark, he's got the number 2 on, but he's playing 5/8 and he's in to score. Oh, that was a good ball given to him by Lee Crooks, the big Englishman. He stood there like some of the great English footballers of years gone by. Every one of us can remember, I guess, the ball skills of the English and how they taught us so many of these skills. And there was Crooks taking the defence, and then he went inside to Dura, and away goes Brett Clark to score the first try of the match and put the Magpies in front. Just trying to keep up with Clark. He gave up pretty quickly. The kick by Schubert is right on line. It's 8 points to 2 in favour of the Black and Whites. 8-2 in favour of the Magpies. Davidson did well to take it, and then he got the pass away to Roberts, through to Cruikshank, on to Coleman. Gould. Moon. Good work. Mario Fennick will score. Oh, he took off with a big swallow dive. He left the ground about 3 metres out, and he landed almost at the bottom of the Bradman stand. Well, Phil Gould has only been on there 5 seconds after being in the bin. He set it up, and then the centre three-quarter, David Moon, he got through some very frail Western Suburbs defence, and then mighty Mario takes off. And Baker gets the extras, so the scoreline now back to equal. It's Western Suburbs and South, 8 points all. Clark. That's Schubert out wide. Petherbridge. Nearly to the 32.
Petherbridge made his presence felt last week in the game here on Monday night, and he's doing the same this evening, having a good game.
Crooks, that's not a bad kick. It's right into the back of the corner there, and oh, Jason Moon has put it down. Referee's ruled knock on, and the touch judges come in from the showground side. It'll be a late tackle, probably on the kicker. The kicker was Crooks. Here he is with the ball now. He gets his kick in. And it was just going out of the screen. There was a bit of interference on John Bilberger. 10 metres in from the Pat Hill stand side. Got it away nicely. He likes it. So do the touch judges. Flags up. Western Suburbs 10. South Sydney 8. Six more tackles. Apparently it was struck for by that Western Suburbs player Schubert, who was lying on the ground. And now a penalty goes to South against West for stealing the ball. And they really couldn't have made it much easier for Baker. About 4.5 minutes of time remaining, and there's the penalty goal kick by Baker. And the scoreline 10-all. It's Ellis. Roberts is gone again. As Roberts coming in to secure the tackle. It was that right arm that the referee was concerned about. Schubert's kick is very low. He's got it low. Took the paint off the top of the crossbar, and the shoe said to Lee Crooks, don't worry. There was never any worry.
Never in doubt.
12-10 in favour of the Magpies. Players out on the field now for the start of the second half in this Winfield Cup match between Wests and Souths, and this match is a Western Suburbs home game, and they would like to thank their major sponsor for their support, and very generous support too from Masterton Homes. Souths running towards the Randwick end of the ground. This is Neil coming back with it, and just repeating the score, the Magpies leading by 2 points. Gould. Straight through to the 22 line. Tackle by Schubert. Coleman. Baker. Baker, they'll score here. Brett Ross. Did he get it down? Touch judge believes he did. It's a try to South Sydney. Well, Schubert has said to the referee, have a look at the replay. He pointed to the big screen. The try has been given. As Coleman gave the ball ever so simply to Baker, he got out of a tackle. I believe it was Duval, and then Brett Ross got it down. Whether or not, of course, he was in contact with that touch in goal line, well, heavens above, you've almost got to be sitting on top of it to tell. This kick doesn't look too bad. He's got it. Oh, that's a beautiful kick from the sideline for Baker. 16-12, the Rabbitohs. This is Cruikshank. Gould, quick passing. Coleman, Baker. Oh, beautiful passing. Can they put it down? David Moon has passed the ball when the referee apparently had called held. That's the indication Harrigan is giving, and it's a penalty to Wests. But it was a classical piece of rugby league passing and catching. Drummond to play it. Ellis. They're only about 18 metres out from the line, the Maggies. That's 6 more. They struck in the play of the ball. Back to Fox. Over to Crooks. Fella's gone into acting half.
I'd like to see Brett Clark take the defence on more often. He's a player with a tremendous step, as he showed us in the first half of this match when he came up with a try, but sometimes he passes in situations when he could just take them on his own.
This is Ellis. He's on the 10-metre line, and I think they've still got 3 tackles. Fella, Fox, Crooks, 8 metres out from the line.
That was a top tackle by Fennick. He stopped the ball dead.
Schubert across to Fella, holds it back, gets it over to Petherbridge. The big fellow will score, yes. He's in the old Paddington Hill corner. Petherbridge. I think you'll find he was taken on by the smallest South Sydney player on the field, Craig Coleman. And this close to the line, that's not a bad way to go about it. Fella did a very big job here. Petherbridge threw the dummy, got inside Gould, came to Coleman, but sheer momentum was always going to take Petherbridge over to score.
This is a great reward for Petherbridge. He's a player who hasn't stopped trying. Here we can see he took a pass. He never had a lot of room to work in. He had to beat a couple of tackles, and sheer strength allowed him to do that.
So the Magpies well and truly keeping this game alive as you watch the Tooheys replay of another try in Tooheys Monday Night Football. Schubert's kick, low, not much fashion about it, and this time it's flagged down. 18-16, the Rabbitohs. Neal through to Cogger, cut out pass to Big Ellis. It's a wonderful competition when you can see class players, fellows like Crooks and this man Clark in these lowly place teams. Fellows who could be probably occupying the headlines if they were playing for a more fashionable team. Petherbridge takes it on the full, but he's offside. It's a penalty going to South. Not very happy is Mr. Petherbridge, but they're the rules. Schubert's asking a question of the referee. And there's the kick. There's no question that he's behind the kicker. Let's have a look now. And well, that's as sweet as a nut. There's absolutely nothing wrong with what we've just seen. And
it was going to be a try.
It was going to be a try for sure. And one can only say that Harrigan has made a mistake. I've got to say in his defence, though, it is one of the few mistakes I've seen him make in the 2 matches that we've had him the last fortnight. Graham, you were sitting right alongside the kick and the runner.
Well, I think full credit to Rod Petherbridge. There was a little bit of hesitancy about the Western Suburbs kick, and Petherbridge at first sort of faltered and made sure that he hung back right behind the kicker. Everybody was certainly surprised along the bench here.
Davidson to the 22 line. Gould, Coleman, De Jura. 18-16 in favour of South. Gould, a double run round, and he holds it back, goes himself. 15 metres out, 5 tackles gone. What the heck's going on there? West have come up with the ball. Well, that was almost to play the ball in slow motion then.
I think Phil Gould might have been hoping that if he played the ball slowly, the Western Suburbs backs would creep up inside the 5 and he'd get a 5-metre penalty. But it backfired because all he did was allow the ball to be raked from him.
Duval. Fox. Clark. Bilberger. I'm starting to get to the stage with Brett Clark. And I've got to be honest, every time he touches the ball...
Say run.
Yeah, I'm sort of saying, run, little fella, run, you know. Crookshank. Tackled by Sheehan. Coleman. Moon, David. Well tackled by Neal, the lock. Certainly doesn't look like a lock, does he, Craig Neal?
No, he's not the biggest lock ever to strap on a pair of boots.
Davidson again. I said it earlier in the night that I believe he's a good forward, Davidson. Coleman back now for Fennick and across now for Roberts. It was this lad who was getting all the raps in the early part of the year, Ian Roberts. And I can assure you a lot of the staunch South supporters, the raps they were putting on were mainly on Davidson. Little kick by Baker, cleaned up by Schubert. Back it goes for Petherbridge. Crooks.
Well, that's not going to get you anywhere. West have got to make a decision here to get this ball out of the danger zone. They've either got to kick it early, or they've got to get their small men to run from dummy half, or they've got to get their big forwards to hit it up with some decoys and hit it up hard. At the moment, none of those things are happening.
That's their second tackle. The referee restarted the count. Fox, Neal, Schubert, Neal. Little kick over the top of the 3/4. Coleman back with Crookshank. He gets a good bounce away from one, casts a shoe. No, he doesn't. Neal did. David Moon getting rid of Brett Clark. Fowler and Bilberger make the tackle. Tony Rampler. Under 15 minutes to go, and South leading by 2 points. Quick passing by Coleman to De Jura. Held by Schubert, ball loose, and 6 more tackles. Phil Gould. De Jura trying to go through in pursuit of it. Looked like he was held back there for a split second. The West player down injured as Drummond almost comes through the other side of the tunnel. Rampling hanging on. Fowler out the back for Fox. Good time in the match for a player like Drummond. He's obviously got a lot of pace. There's a penalty against Schubert for Shepherd. Lee Crooks is the man down injured. De Jura. Coleman. Baker. Cuts out one, and it goes to Crookshank. Oh, that was a very strong tackle out there by Duval. 5 gone as Baker goes for the drop goal from 40 metres out. It looks good. It's a good kick by Baker. Oh, that's a tremendous drop goal. Look at the applause from the champion, Jeffrey Fennick. That's the biggest drop goal I've seen this year. From Neil Baker from 40 metres out on an angle, 19 points to 16. He was 18 metres in from touch, 40 metres out. And I don't know that I've seen a bigger drop goal than that one. Ball played quickly back to Coleman. Coleman to the 22. Baker runs onto it. So does Rampling. The ball went forward off the hands of Rampling. It went unnoticed. And Ross it is who plays the ball for Souths. About 15 metres out from the west line. Davidson goes ahead again. A little short ball away for Roberts. They're 10 metres out. Tackle number 5. They might set Baker up again. It's gone to Gould and on to Dejura. He cuts out Rampling. It's gone from Moon out to Cruikshank. And Cruikshank dives in to score in the Clive Churchill corner. 19-16 becomes 23-16 in favour of South Sydney. Beautiful piece of passing. Coleman, Gould, Dejura on the Tui's replay. Bronco threw the big ball. David Moon caught and passed in one action. Cruikshank went in and away. A deep breath. Just checks the compass and there it goes. It's low and just wide. No change to that Tui's Monday Night Football scoreline. 23-16 to the red and greens. Penalty to West taken quickly by Fowler. Picked up on the half volley by Fox. They're 3 metres out from the South line.
If they want to win the game, they should have kicked the goal.
Fowler's 9 metres out, right in front of the uprights. Ellis. Clark backs him up. The little fellow, is he over? No, it's a penalty. It must have been a double movement. This was the head-on camera picking it up. Clark. Well, I'm blowed if I know how that's a double movement, unless he's called held, but the ball and the arm carrying the ball most definitely hadn't touched the ground. Gould. That's Andrews. And there's the siren. Well, Souths have got the 2 points and they played some great football in winning the match by 23-16, and it was good to see them playing entertaining football in portions of the match. But still, the Magpies are going to go home, I would think, very, very disappointed at a couple of crucial rulings. 23 for Souths, Fennick, Ross, Cruikshank try scorers, Baker 5 goals and a drop goal. And for the Magpies, Clark 1 and Petherbridge 1 and Schubert kicked 4 goals. All right, let's have a look now at the Premiership table as it stands after South Sydney's win here at the Cricket Ground tonight. Parramatta and Manly, joint leaders on 26, just 1 point in advance of South Sydney, and then 2 points away to Canterbury, still on 4th. It's Penrith on 20 with Balmain, Norths on 18, Easts and St George on 16, Cronulla West 13, Illawarra 12 and Canberra 10. Next weekend, here's the list of matches. Canterbury plays Eastern Suburbs, Parramatta versus Cronulla, Manly takes on the Steelers, the Raiders play the Magpies, Norths have the bye, and on Sunday our NEC big game is Souths versus Penrith, and Tui's Monday Night Football is St George versus Balmain. Another great week of rugby league, one that Winfield has taken a great deal of pleasure in presenting again for you in this capsulised edition. As we leave the program this week, though, let's go behind the scenes to a man in his first year in a first-grade coaching role. His name, the fellow they called the Little Bull in his playing days at South Sydney. Who else but George Piggins?
George, it's now some 8 years since you stopped playing. What have you done in that time?
Oh, well, I just shot myself into business, really. We've got this nursery here, and I had a trucking business and a sports store. So the last 8 years I've been pretty busy. I've just concentrated on business, really.
I suppose the image of George Piggins, the player, is very unlike George Piggins, the nursery owner. How did you get into that?
Well, funny, I mean, my brother went up to Queensland on a holiday, and he came back and he said, I think a nursery would be a good business to get in. And as children, we all worked in your uncle's nursery. And I said, yeah, I know where the site is, you know. I said, up here on Gardeners Road. And he said, well, you want to go in one? So from there in, we just went out and we found out who had the lease, and we bought the lease off the people who had it. And it took us about 5 years of going through government departments to get the nursery, but we finally came up with it.
It's a beautiful setup here. You could almost hit a golf ball from your tea house down to the adjacent golf course.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful here. You know, the golf course is magnificent, and it's just a beautiful place to come.
So I believe that you've patented a lift loader for trucks.
Well, Bill, you know, I had a transport business, and the thing came about that if you didn't put it into a van, you're going to lose the contract, and I had to set about designing something to put the product in a van, and I came up with this idea of loading the product on a lift loader, which allowed me to cart 40 pallets instead of 20, which, you know, made me pretty competitive against the opposition, and that way I finished up getting the whole transport business off the company.
I believe there's quite a humorous story attached to your first ever truck.
Yeah, I bought it at about 3 o'clock. I insured it at 4 and I wrote it off at 5.
George, you've developed an affiliation for horses to the point where you're now a registered strapper with Les Bridges stable.
Yeah, I like racehorses. As a young bloke, we used to have them at home. And one day when the coaching's finished, I'd like to go into horse training. The reason being, I don't like dropping people from football, Bill, like out of the team and that. And when you get some bloke says, what'd you drop me for? You know, like, you got to give him an answer. Well, you know, like, and you get blokes to do heaps of tackles and that, and you think, well, I've gone for a little bit more attack and that, and you drop him. Well, you can't give him much of an answer, you know, and I don't like that. And
the horses can't talk back.
Well, they can't. You just put them in a can of pallets, they can't run.
The boy can bring the dedication, devotion, turning on